Hello everyone, Maryann here from Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. First of all, I thank you for all your support of this channel. Even though when you press the like button, it's not bringing up a like, but keep pressing it anyway. This channel is about persistence and resisting those forces that would try and quell us. For those that are asking about the Note, which is my revamped blog, you can head over to my website. It is a free subscription. I will be updating it as often as I can, bare minimum once a week. On a good day or a good week, 2 or 3 times a week. We'll just see how it goes. Thank you all for your help and information on my arthritic and neuropathy in my hands. I am going to try the castor oil, so thank you all for all your suggestions. They're much better today, thank you. What else do we need to know? Oh yes, my book on my cancer and spiritual journey and how my dormant psychic gifts opened up under the life and death battle as I went through cancer is going to be published on the 28th of January. I've spoken about my book before for those that don't know. It was taken up by a publisher in the UK in December of last year. We went through frantic copy editing and cover design deadlines, and they need about 10 months notice before they publish because they've got to get it into the bookstores. And so they've been working diligently on it this year, and then the publication date is January the 28th. I've set up a page on my website for people who are interested. Anyone who's been through or going through cancer, anyone who's going through massive grief, loss. I guess it's a way through, it's a compass, if you like, a guiding compass that you might be able to glean some help from if you're facing any major adversity in your life, and how when we work through that and push through that, we can emerge renewed, more than renewed. We can discover, as I said, I certainly was clairvoyant as a child and growing up. I've been clairvoyant all my life, but all these gifts, I guess you'd call them, or parts of me, who I am, came forward with so much speed and strength as I underwent cancer treatment over about 3 years. Well, of course, it never stops, does it? Because cancer's the gift that keeps on giving. I am no evidence of disease, so I am well. I just battle the legacy that radiation, chemo, and major surgery has left me with. Anyway, you want to find out more about that? That's on my website under Revealing Light Books. You'll find the Note, the revamped blog there, free subscription. I'll be using my journalism and my intuitive. You'll get intuitive senses to look at what's happening around the world, and particularly as the US goes through the next couple of years. As I said, it's a free subscription, so if you want to find out more, head to my website. That address is www.revealinglightarot.com. If you hit more underneath the video, you'll get a drop-down menu. Okay, that's the housekeeping. I've struggled to find a name to refer to 45 without it being denigrating and bringing that negative energy through, and without calling in the trolls. I think it'll just stay as 45 and we'll leave it at that. Even if he becomes 47, we'll keep calling him 45. Associated Press on the election, Associated Press carried a story. I published it on my Facebook page, and again, if you hit more, the link to that Facebook page will come out, as well as my accounts on Blue Sky, etc. So they published a story where bags of ballots were turning up in the mail uncounted, unprocessed to various delivery points. It wasn't just one ballot centre, it was multiple ballot centres. So here again we find another anomaly. And why would this be happening? Happening? Why is the plausible explanation? Well, someone may have either impeded the delivery of those ballots. Either way, they didn't get counted. Okay, so lots of those sort of examples, anomalies as I call them, intentional or unintentional, amounted up to not everyone's vote got counted. And that is the reality. That's where the evidence is. So we don't need to look at conspiracies or whether whether satellites interfered or whatever. We don't even need to go there, because the fact of the matter is there are a large number of ballots that weren't counted for one reason or another. Okay, let's move on to today. I want to take a look at the astrology, and then I want to get into some questions. Before I go any further, I asked if Matt Gaetz would make it through the process to become AG. He didn't. He withdrawed. He went to see the senators, and they told him, we're not going to put you through. And so it was a no-brainer that he would withdraw from that nomination process. So I got that correct. I talked about a missile that Russia would fire onto Ukraine. I saw it very clearly. It was a special type of missile. I said it could be nuclear, it could be hypersonic, some kind of experimental hypersonic missile. The next day after that reading, Russia fired a hypersonic experimental missile into Ukraine. I still think there's small nuclear weapons that they've got put aside. I think they've got both hypersonic ballistic type missiles that we haven't seen yet, and also smaller nuclear weapons that we also haven't seen yet. I think it's very real. Vladimir Putin, that threat is very real. Vladimir Putin has done his nuclear policy to say that if the West gives Ukraine a particular type of weaponry that is allowed to be fired into Ukraine, then he is authorised to use nuclear weapons. So we have that. Also said don't give up hope about Casey in my reading. Unfortunately, Casey conceded, get this, before the recount had been completed or even done. He conceded. So that recount is a moot point now. Also want to draw your attention, before we get on to the astrology, to a prediction I think it was in my annual predictions last year for 2024. And I just want to say that I remember, I posted this on Blue Sky. I remember last year's annual predictions. I said everything was going to turn upside down, and it would be like living in an upside down world. And now I kind of had that feeling. It was an uncomfortable, almost nauseous feeling as everything flipped. Well, now we have an incompetent candidate that was chosen over a good one. Media supports the bad one. The people on forums like X think that his lies are truth, and people are still defending genocide. So I feel that, yes, this is an upside down world. On that, I want to say that the astrology at the moment is reflecting this. And this is a time of great healing for all of us. So currently the sun is trining Mars, and that means that the pushback now that we're doing, the resistance steps that we're taking is actually a part of who we are, and we shouldn't step away from who we are. Pushback works. And why would I say that? Well, Gates. Gates withdrawal is a good example. Hegseth, new information has come to light after I read on him. The clairvoyant image that I had was someone was tied up. A woman was tied up. He tied someone up, or he kept them prisoner, because remember, sometimes clairvoyance is not literal. It can be a metaphor. So there was this not very nice image that I got, and I said to you, I just don't want to see that anymore. The next day after, or the next 2 days after I read that, it came out that he did actually hold a woman prisoner for days, and of course is accused of alleged to have held a woman prisoner and alleged to have sexually assaulted her. We don't have many more details other than that. His nomination hasn't been withdrawn, though. We'll see where that goes. Pushback does work. The moon is squaring Mercury. Now, Mercury is going to go retrograde shortly. The moon is all about our feelings, and squaring Mercury, we're having a tough time actually feeling like we're being heard. It's like our power has been taken away from us. But again, when we act and when we push through that, we can achieve. We can achieve a lot. We shouldn't assume that we have no power. The moon is trining Uranus, so that's again people's feelings are volatile at this time, and so change can occur. So astrologically, the more that you express yourself, the more chance you have of getting change happening. He, 45, is banking on us all withdrawing in fear and silence. The moon is opposite Uranus, again feelings, not Uranus, Neptune. Neptune is what is coming into form. And so the way that we're feeling now is yes, we have a chance to create something, but a lot of people are still sorting through how they're feeling. Jupiter is trining Chiron. So this is a time of great healing in so many ways. And I know you would go, well, how can it be healing when I'm feeling like I can't cope with this? It's about digging deep within you. I know that because I do it myself. I've had to do that in order to keep doing this work, in order to keep posting videos. It's been, even though I am not in the US, I have a deep love of democracy and freedoms and the rights that yes, I've been a fighter for women's rights all my life, and those in the US, and I can understand why you're gutted. Those rights we've fought so hard for, to push through, break through the ceilings. We're just seeing what we think is them being trampled on. But I can tell you, nothing is set in stone. The future is yet to unfold. And if you think that this is the free ride for them all, 45 and his minions, you are wrong. This is about change and revelation. I want to also say that there are major planets that are moving retrograde in the coming weeks. And this is a time where we go back over old ground. It's a time the ancients thought of the planets journeying through the underworld so that we can learn the lessons again, but this time with greater insight and meaning. What planets are retrograde at this time? Well, Neptune will be retrograde until December the 7th. Chiron, we're all working on that wound, aren't we? That heart wound, which is bringing up all sorts of things in us from years ago, feelings of powerlessness, feelings where, our rights have been trampled on, betrayals, etc. Chiron is retrograde until December the 29th, so I can't stress enough that there's a lot of learning going on at this time, and we will emerge a lot stronger than that. Now, Uranus is retrograde until January the 30th, 2025. A lot of astrologers are saying that's why we might see some changes in the election. and its result. I'm not going to give you false hope. I'm not feeling a big draw to something huge coming out that would change an election result. But I think we are going to get to a point where we have to acknowledge that not everybody's vote was counted. They had a right to have those counted for one reason or another, nefarious and otherwise, that we may not know about. And I think it's important to hold on to that. Jupiter, the benefic planet, is retrograde until February the 4th. So again, the economy, I keep going on about the economy. And someone said, well, what evidence do you have? Well, I'm going to write a blog about that. You only need to go to any financial expert. Go and hear what Warren Buffett, the top investor, the most successful investor ever, go and have a look at what he's saying about the economy if you don't believe me. Look at the interest rate rises. Look at the debt delinquencies, credit cards, automobile loans, mortgages, commercial loans. The rate of delinquency or default is like that. Look at the rate of inflation, over 6% in 2022. It certainly was reined in the election year, but by then it was already too late. So whenever I actually read the economy was in trouble, would have been Christmas, I don't know, was it 2023, 2022, 2023? And sometimes I think people they're not taking it in. But yeah, the economy recovered. Biden did a brilliant job after COVID, but it's been hard going from about 2022. We're just getting that kind of graph happening across all the indicators. Will the 45 be able to rescue this? No. My prediction is he's going to fail abysmally. Because he's not competent, and this time round he's not surrounding himself with competent people. And tariffs will only push up inflation rates. So Mars is retrograde until February the 23rd, and it is opposite Jupiter, opposite Pluto, and retrograde. So Pluto's now into Aquarius and moving forward, and Mars is going back. So don't underestimate that this time will not be a huge time of change. Don't think or assume that it's just going to be like 2016 to 2020. Times have changed, and it is very important that once we do the healing, once we do the insight, go over the old ground and emerge into something else, that it's important to remember we emerge stronger. Okay, so I'm just going to ask not a quick question. I know that this is a fairly big talking video. I'll put a timestamp as to when tarot starts. However, I like to look at all things, astrology, tarot, clairvoyance, you know me. I'm an all-rounder, and so sometimes videos won't start, tarot won't start straight away. I'm not going to back away from that, like it or not. Okay, so let's look at the question, why is the world, given that I felt that things appeared to flip, let's ask why the world, I had that clairsentient almost feeling. It was like I physically felt that there would be this flip, an upside down world. Why is that happening, please? Spirit, what can you show me? So I'm getting someone stepping in between a triangle. It's almost like the Illuminati. It's about uncovering these really these hidden forces. It's about uncovering what is hidden and putting a spotlight onto that. And so how do we do that? Well, this time round we're doing it with some pain and suffering. All right, so no one ever said that this life is an easy life. I mean, all of us know that it's not. And collectively, it's no different. We go through these cycles where we have to deal with terrible adversity. So why is the world seemingly... Just ask you if your grandmother or grandparents are still alive, anyone who went through the world wars and any of the other wars ever since. It's not so long ago that we had Great Depressions and then world wars. So why is the world seemingly flipped upside down? Why is the world seemingly flipped upside down? There's a building going on, literally like a construction of something. So we have thunder here. I'm using the mystical shaman oracle, thunder and lightning, storm clouds. We have these two moons stacked upon one another. This is like our feelings coming up through the storm to really bring something new forward. Thunder, number 56. So that's 5, which is change, and then 6, which is healing, and 11, which is of highly spiritual. Notice the signs, the signs around you that spirit is here, and there are no coincidences. So this is a time also of where we can find greater connection with spirit. Thunder, the child, it's like the innocence here, the innocence. We are in some ways losing our innocence, but all through the lessons, number 7, the harsh lessons that we're having. But also the child is able to move through those. It is a period of learning and processing and insight, and emerge and grow into something new. The serpent, the shedding of skin, for foundational shedding of skins, and then healing occurring. So we're literally shedding this skin, completing old cycles and shedding a skin. It's a baptism of fire. We are going through the flames. And that is really almost in a upside down heart shape, and it's a mountain. And so what is the fire? The fire is the fiery baptism of our emotions and our healing journeys. The ancient ones, as I said, we've got this historical perspective. Our ancestors have been through these times. Do not be so, what's the word, arrogant as to think that people haven't experienced this type of hardship before. Come through it and start it again. Come through it and begun a new cycle. And if you're like me and you're in middle age and you've lived a lot of your life, we're here to lend our wisdom and our knowledge and our connections to this situation for not just ourselves but for our children and our grandchildren. For the many elderly women that watch me, we are the ones that went through at one time or another these kinds of situations. And so we have a great role to play in the collective going forward. The hunter, 27, adding up to 9, the hunter. We have to be a bit like that. We can't sit back. We can't sit back and allow this to happen. And then we have completion. We have a job. Number 9 is a completion of a cycle. This is the old Pluto in Capricorn paradigm, giving way to Pluto in Aquarius. On the 19th it went in. Pluto went into Aquarius. So we have Mars retrograde and then Pluto in Aquarius going this way. And so it is a time, even though you don't think it is, of forward momentum. Please don't think that I do not understand or empathise with your suffering, because I think all of you have seen how I have suffered in the last few weeks, suffered at what I have perceived as I don't even have to explain it. There are no words. Now, you're all looking for counsel. You're all looking for counsel. When I couldn't get it together, I said to my husband, Eric, I don't know what to do for the people who watch me. I have tried to do everything that I know how to do. And he said, why don't you go with the flow? And I said, what do you mean go with the flow? I've been going with the flow. And he said, go with the flow of yourself. And suddenly the light bulb went on. I only have to go with the flow of myself. And that put the power back with me. Didn't put the power back with external circumstances, whether they be in Gaza, Ukraine, or 45, or any of that. It put the power back with myself. You only need to go with the flow of yourself. And so that made a huge amount of sense to me. Now, this reading hasn't gone, this session hasn't gone as I thought. I thought I'd get, fairly well straight into the tarot. But I'm going with the flow of myself. I feel it's very, very difficult for readers at this time to know how to proceed. And I would say to them, to the light workers that put themselves out there, some have chosen to withdraw from public platforms, go with the flow of yourself. Dig deep and go with the flow of yourself. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Now, 27, so what did I say? Around 18, we started on the astrology, 18 minutes in, and then at 27 minutes in, 27:16, we're going to go to some questions, Q&A. I will put in some timestamps below in the pinned comment. Okay, let's go. So when I was reading last time, the death card came up 4 times for 45, and other light workers, other readers were getting the death card as well. I've said many times his health is no good. Nothing much has changed there. And if you go and listen to any psychologist, psychoanalyst, psychiatrist speak about him, they are convinced he's in the early stages of Alzheimer's. So, you see why it's so important. Any Democrat active party members that are listening, so important to rally, regroup and push back. It's vital right now. But anyway, back to the death card. You are wondering, let me just have a sip. You're wondering if it's the death of democracy. And so I said, okay, I'll ask that question. So the death card in relation to old 45. So there is a marriage with him. The death card. What did it signify? Did it signify? What are you doing? Okay, so many people will literally kiss the ring. Sorry to put it like that, but that's what I'm seeing. That's all he really cares about. He doesn't care about much about the economy. It's a totally selfish thing that he's doing here. Were he to be another character, he would rise to the occasion. But it is all about having people bow to him, to his power. And of course, that's ridiculous because, people don't do that. You'll get a certain subset that will. No. And, I'd encourage you to look to those podcasters and those that are still bravely putting themselves out there in this time of an upside-down world. Okay, so is this the death of democracy? Is this the death of democracy? What can you say? There's a compass, finding a lost compass, getting back to integrity, guardrails. Is this the death of democracy? Is this the Ace of Swords? Revelation. Okay, I'm using the Spellcaster's Tarot. We get the Sun, full illumination. Also, what are we spinning? Be mindful of your own happiness as well. The Page of Swords, the insight, the page carries the very big oversized Ace of Swords here. So this is full illumination of the truth, and I guess you thought you'd seen enough. You haven't seen enough until enough of the collective starts to see it too. And I keep saying that. When you reach a critical mass, we get change. Okay, so we get the Six of Wands, and this is a victory of some sort. What is this, a victory? I love this card deck. I'll use it a lot these days. Spellcaster Tarot. It has all sorts of races and ethnicities in it. It's a diverse tarot set. So we have here, looks like is it a hawk or an eagle? The victory is freedom. The victory is freedom. Let's look at what was in the past. Strength. It feels like the strength has left us, doesn't it? Strength is about a gentle strength. It's about taming the beast within. That's in the past, okay? Now we have the Hierophant, spiritual connection. The Hierophant can be government. Can be government as well. Whoa! Illuminati symbol. That's the symbol I saw. Wow. That is exactly what I saw clairvoyantly when I asked why this upside down world. Ooh. This is great truths are going to emerge over the next few years. The Magician, manifestation. Why the Death card was there. Great truths are going to emerge. We have institutions, also the courts. So is this the death of democracy? Magician can be manifestation, can be manipulation as well. We have the Page of Cups, can be shocks and surprises, particularly emotional. The Moon, that's in the here and now. And the atmosphere around is inevitability. So I'm afraid to say this revelation, this seeing these massive truths, these terrible truths, was always inevitable in a way. And if we had have been honest with ourselves, yes, the election was very close, but at least we should have entertained the possibility that a significant portion of the electorate went for him. Even in my own country, there is a significant portion of the election that would want him as Prime Minister here. So there's an inevitability and a karmic aspect to this situation. Temperance is in the hope and fear. There's nothing conservative about the current MAGA GOP party. Nothing conservative. People who tell you, it's the conservative, bull dust. They are extremists. They're not conservatives. And so the hope is that enough moderates, enough people who don't want the extreme, across the aisles. Look what happened with Gates. You were all saying they're Republicans. They will not push back. They're this, they're that. Yet we had Cornyn from Texas, the state of Texas, pushed back. And another senator. Oh, yeah. Rand Paul was quoted. Where is he from? Kentucky? One of the most oh God, listen to me. Calm down. Rand Paul said, I will not be voting for military on the streets of the United States of America. I will push back. We will not have the military rounding up people. Are they the good guys? No, they allowed 45 to flourish. But push is coming to shove here. There we have the King of Pentacles. That's the money. That's the business people. That you saw the obscene amounts of money in this campaign. And we get the minor card, death. The minor death card. But I asked, was it the death of democracy? We get an abuse of democracy by who? The billionaires, the Trump himself. But we also get the minor death card for him as well. So again, it's him. It's related to him. Either a literal or another death. So when I say a death of democracy, no, that's a yes and two no's for what it's worth. There is an abuse of power here. And we get the Hermit, the dark night of the soul. No, these are not, not cards that would indicate your democracy is going to die and never come back. This is about it's about him. It's about people like him. It's about the money in politics. It's about the revelations and the abuse of power here. And there's an ending of something here. And beyond that ending, 2 cups are still, you see the waterfall catching, the cups catching the water. There is some kind of, I won't call it a recovery. Change is upon us, but there is salvation here as well. The Hierophant card is also the courts. So let's check in here with the clarifications. I'm using the Thoth deck to clarify. Can you show me this spread? You know what I'm referring to. Spirit, the King of Pentacles, the 5 of Cups, the 5, the Hermit, the Dark Night of the Soul. You be your own guiding light. Is this the death of US democracy? Victory. 6, victory. Victory. Well, who's going to be victorious? The Magus, the Magician. The Magician. And the Prince of Pentacles. Prince of Pentacles, which is sustainability. What you're manifesting is a greater sustainability. And then we get the Wheel of Fortune, change. Through change, you're manifesting a greater stability through change. No, this isn't the end of democracy. This isn't the end of democracy in the US. All right, let's see what we've got time for. One more question. I do want to go again. To, there's a common question people say, will 45 be able to stop? Remember, he's 78, 79 in 25, and then he's got another 4 years of office, and the doctors, the experts are convinced still he's got cognitive deterioration. So do not rule out anything and everything. Many people would not willingly sit by and let the US crash completely. All right, so let's have a look. Let's have a look here. So wars have escalated. They haven't since the announcement of his victory. They've escalated. All right. Can he stop the wars? Because that's a common thing. All right. Russia and Ukraine, the Middle East. Can he stop these, and quickly? Because by his inauguration, apparently, they should all be stopped. Can he stop wars? Can 45 stop? It's upside down world. Anyone trying to write that upside down world is going to be, that's a Herculean task, and he's not Hercules. So can he stop the wars? Can he stop the wars? Can 45 stop the wars? 8 of Pentacles. That's skill development. It's the Apprentice card. And the 8 of Cups, loss. Walking away from what no longer serves us. Great anxiety. I'm not seeing a breakthrough yet. The Hanged Man is in the past. I feel that Biden probably held a lot more back than what you think. We get the Two of Swords. It is a crossroads. These are not good cards. We get the Queen of Cups in the future, something being let out. Look, she's got her hand over the cup. Contained. They've been contained so far. I know that's ridiculous. The King of Wands in the present. That can be the lawmakers. That can be, somebody with courage. And we get the Chariot. No, they're speeding up right now. They're speeding up here. People are feeling more without bounds. We get the Seven of Cups in the hopes and fears and illusion and choices. And then we get the Truth. And the Three of Pentacles. So that can be people talking about how to do this, money being flung at certain situations. But no, there's the Ten of Pentacles. It's not an easy fix here. You can't just chuck money, which is what he'll do, chuck money elsewhere. Likely to the Middle East. No, it's pretty hard. And then we get Russia. Russia is the thorn, circles of support and strength. No, this is a changed world. The US is not the kingmaker anymore. We have BRICS. Russia here and China are jockeying, I guess, against each other. We have China on the rise. It's a superpower, no doubt. Please don't think that you're going to be invaded tomorrow. That's not it. The US is still a superpower, but he doesn't have the sway anymore. And it seems that Russia is a thorn in his side. Whether he knows it now or not, they are. All right, so everybody who voted for old 45 and the chaos and turmoil, and you're about to see some truths. And that's no reason for us to sit on the sidelines and not push back and get ready for the midterms in the US. Thanks for tuning in. I'm off now. I do have some tarot scopes to release later on in the week, probably Friday, your Thursday, my Friday. And we'll just see how everything goes. Please go into the space that you need to and take care of yourselves. Go with the flow of who, of what, of you. Bye for now.